KLK episode 3, which felt like about 3 episodes all packed into one. Epic, epic opening. How about that opening? Wasn't that shocking? Even before we get to the song and the credits in the beginning, bam, the beauty captivated. It was so beautiful. Her wedding dress, that whole thing, right? That Kamoi suit. And the amount of information that we got about the suits and the whole layout of it is amazing. Now, of course, it was done in such a way that, of course, we have more questions, but at least we have a basis. And let's go ahead and go, right, okay, so you have the different starred suits from the clan of the student council leader, and they're still trying to experiment, right? But they get to 5 stars, and then the suit takes over, and, you know, they have to be subdued. That was absolutely brilliant. And the Kamoi suits is made from the clan that's where Ryuko's from. So that tells us a lot. So it looks like that suit was also a Kamoi suit, would have been made by Roko's, maybe her father, someone in that clan. So now we're seeing this power thing, right? We've got the suits, all that kind of stuff. And the suits, power-ups within the suits, right? And then what we've seen many times is the relationship between the suit and the user also has to do with how much power, right? The whole blood getting drained, and finally the relationship's understood. Okay, I accept you now, and the whole nudity thing or what have you, so that's fine. That's just the way the suit has to go. And the whole thing with the power, crazy student council leader going, oh, I'll get totally naked for power. You know, the whole thing with the breast. Then Mako jumping in there, right? And her whole, you know, she's got a great rack. Everybody in the family thinks it's awesome. And, you know, the whole that whole thing. And then her whole family, yeah, that whole thing there. Well, I'm going to say this quickly in pure KLK fashion. If there was ever a Ryuko life-size doll, that Mako would be the first person in line to purchase this, and she would definitely get all the attachments. Moving on. All right, now, the whole idea of her taking those, she defeats a suit, but the Kamoi suits get more power-ups. And that's another thing, is the suits itself, instead of being like, you know, 1 star, this, and you can do this, there seems to be a lot more power-ups. There's going to be more relationship between the suits itself and the user, so looking forward to all that. The big shock to me actually was that you could augment your weapon with the suit. Remember the whole thing, the decapitator move with the scissor? That was freaking insane. That was crazy. Did not see that coming. So a lot more as far as power-ups the suit. Now, instead of every week we go here and she fights some leader and then she gets chased off by the student council leader, now it's all set. Student council leader is going to watch it every week as Ryuko battles different members of the student council. It's going to be brilliant, right? And then, of course, when she defeats them all, she will end up defeating the student council leader and then get some or part of her answers or what have you. So, yeah, a lot of secrets. I love the way the whole thing is laid out. I love the way that they, even the nudity part of this, that the writers went right at. I thought, no shame in my game from the student leader, right? I'll get totally naked for power. That was crazy. The relationship with them between, like I say, between the suits, the power-ups, and all that kind of stuff. Just utterly, utterly amazing. The whole thing is the entertainment value just keeps going on. The whole thing of the teacher, you know, revealing some information. His quote, "A man's word is only good on the day it's given," right? Just humor and humor and humor. Right there, when in the beginning, whenever she tries, well, actually not in the beginning, but when the student leader goes to get her suit, the last person, right, to try to stop her. Do you see the little Hitler mustache? Over and over, this dark, historic context, right? Experiments on suits. All this just makes the craziness even wilder. It does. This dark mood, it busts out with this crazy stuff that's going on of mostly naked women fighting each other. So this is just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. They're not afraid to push the boundaries in very clever ways, actually. Now, another thing that got me was the whole thing with the men in the family, Mako's family, sit there and sleeping and then trying to spy on her. I said, okay. But 2 things really got me. The whole thing with Mako's mom was like, oh, so you like to get nude in front of people? I mean, I was like, whoa, okay. And then that was, wow. And then the whole thing with all 3, even the dog guts, the dog all tied up, or kind of a bondage thing or whatever. That just on and on. They're constantly hitting you with all kind of funny things. The good thing is, of course, some of that stuff you won't think is funny, but it's done in a quick manner, so therefore, you know, you get on to the next thing, you go, oh, this is pretty funny. So it's really, really well done. But like I say, we know how it is. We know how it's mapped out. Every week, we're going to see the student leader simply watching as different of her minions are defeated. So it's brilliant. I love it. I can't wait to see viewer comments. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see your feedback. This, you know, a lot of these stories, you know, they're not as great as we hope. This was definitely something I stumbled into without very much expectation, and it's delivered abundantly as far as entertainment. This is absolutely brilliant. I can't believe it keeps stepping it up every single week, in my opinion. Well, that's going to be it for me. There's a lot more to talk about, and I'm sure we'll get into it in the viewer comments. Please, if you've never made viewer comments before, this is a really good channel to do that on. You can kind of look around everything. It's really pretty friendly. And if you make comments all the time, let's just do it. Let's get into viewer comment video. Let's get those things down there. All right. Anybody can be an anime fan. You can always subscribe. You can always unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time, take care.